On Osrc News at 7, Ayedatiwa reaffirms commitment to good governance ahead local government elections. Collective efforts for prosperous nation highlighted at Armed Forces Jumat service. Federal government recovers $52 million in assets linked to ex-minister Bizani Alison Madueke. And from the foreign scene, California wildfires displace thousands as residents count losses. Hello, good evening. This is Osrc News at 7. I am Sahid Aribisala. Ahead of the January 18 local government elections in Ondo State, the All Progressives Congress (APC) is intensifying efforts to secure a decisive victory. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, while engaging with candidates of the party, stressed the importance of commitment, urging them to engage with grassroots communities while cautioning against overconfidence. The governor, who reaffirmed his dedication to promoting good governance, said sustained outreach is crucial for electoral success. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole provides more insight into the meeting.
Candidates of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) gathered at the Koko Conference Hall in Akure, preparing for the January 18 local government election in Ondo State. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa hosted chairmanship, vice chairmanship, and councillorship candidates to strategize for electoral success. State chairman of the party, Ade Adetimehin, congratulated the candidates and emphasized their roles as ambassadors of the party, urging them to intensify grassroots campaigns. He expressed confidence in the party to win all 203 wards.
Currently, the man that's leading is a Christian personified. Let us build this party and leave a legacy that every one of us will be proud of. The leadership of the party under Mr. Governor has absolute confidence in you. You must not disappoint the party. As we are noted for, no foul language, no rancor, go in peace, do the campaign in a civilized manner. You have something to lean on.
Governor Ayedatiwa called for a moment of silence for the late Secretary to the State Government, Mitayo Oluwatuyi, and encouraged candidates to build on past successes while remaining humble. He pledged his support but warned the candidates against overconfidence.
I have to strategically schedule yours after my own election. I said strategically scheduled because I want to run the campaign before yours, and which we have done. Yes. And the good thing is that we all did it together. Yes. You know the result already. Yes. So meaning we have prepared good ground for you to work on. Yes. We are the only political party that campaigned across the entire 18 local government, yes, into the communities, into the wards, in some areas. So that love, that APC is still very fresh in the hearts of the people. Yes. Let me tell you, the people voted for us. Yes. All those state people voted for us. Yes. They love us. Yes.
The governor urged candidates to demonstrate commitment and capability to sustain impactful governance. He also requested a Thanksgiving service on January 12, 2025 to praise God on his behalf.
There are other aspirants from other political parties, there's no doubt about that. But we shouldn't be afraid. Just do your work and pray Go all out and get through. Because we want all of you to win.
The event culminated in the presentation of parties' flags to candidates, symbolizing their readiness for the election. Gbenga Fashua spoke on behalf of the candidates, thanking the governor and promising to uphold the trust placed in them. The local government election is set for January 18, 2025. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
The call for unity and collective efforts in ensuring a peaceful and prosperous nation was at the core of the Friday's sermon at the Osrc Central Mosque. The Jummah prayers took on more significance as Muslim faithful, top government officials and members of the Nigerian Legion gathered at the Osrc Central Mosque to commemorate the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. There's more in this next report.
At the Osrc Central Mosque, the atmosphere is filled with reverence as Muslims gather for the second Jumat service in the year 2025. The gathering also marks an avenue to honor Nigeria's fallen heroes as part of the nationwide activity in commemoration of the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Top government officials from Ondo State and members of the Nigerian Legion joined the Muslim faithful in paying tribute to those who have sacrificed their lives for the peace and security of the nation. In his sermon, Chief Imam of Akure, Abdulhakim Yayi Akorede, spoke about the importance of unity and national cohesion, urging the congregation to reflect on the sacrifices of the military and the need for continued peace and development in Nigeria. After the sermon, the congregation observed the 2 Raka prayers, seeking God's mercy for the nation, its leaders, and the well-being of those who serve in the armed forces. Following the prayers, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, represented by Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs Amidu Takuro, expressed the state's commitment to promoting religious tolerance, peace and development.
I wish to seize this opportunity to openly acknowledge that we have not in any way taken for granted your prayer for the government and the good people of Ondo State. I therefore wish to enjoin our spiritual father and individuals to continually pray for peace and security of this country and Ondo State, especially as we approach the forthcoming local government election in the state.
He reiterated the government's pledge to continue supporting military veterans and their families, acknowledging their service in various roles within the Nigerian military.
Call on all of us to see to the welfare of those that got wounded and remain physically destabilized and emotionally traumatized, widows of the fallen heroes, and our veterans that are still alive but not strong enough to fend for themselves, as this will be a strong source of encouragement to officers and men that are still in active service. As much as our prayers are needed, there is a continual need for our generous donation and support for the widows and dependents, as well as those who are still alive.
This service serves as an important reminder of the sacrifices made by the men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces.
We continue to pray for them and encourage them to remain committed to the sustenance of peace and the safety and the security of the people of Nigeria.
With a renewed sense of national pride and solidarity, the government and the citizens of Nigeria continue to honor those who have served with dedication and bravery. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
The Ondo State government has reaffirmed its commitment to nurturing a harmonious relationship between local communities and the businesses operating within the state. Okitupa Oil Palm PLC and the allegations raised by certain host communities regarding the Ondo Oil Palm Company have drawn the immediate attention of Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa to call for formal negotiations between the oil palm company and the host communities to address the expressed grievances. To this end, the Office of the Attorney General of Ondo State, in a statement, expressed its stance and directed all stakeholders to collaborate towards a constructive resolution. The government says it recognizes the crucial role that Okitupa Oil Palm PLC has played in the state's economy over the years, which has significantly enhanced investment and enriched local landscape. The statement noted that the determination of the state government to ensure that all enterprises within the state operate in accordance with legal standards while making substantial contributions to their surrounding communities. The state government therefore urges all parties to exercise restraint and explore every available avenue for communication and resolution before resorting to more drastic measures. To Oyo State now, where Governor Seyi Makinde has approved the appointment of Prince Abimbola Owade as the new Alaafin. The Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dr. Oyelade, who made the announcement in a statement, stated that Owade was chosen after extensive consultations and traditional divinations conducted by the Oyo Kingmakers, the Oyomisi. The Alaafin stool became vacant following the passing of the former Alaafin Obalamidi Adeyemi III, who died on April 22, 2022. The federal government has received $52.88 billion in recovered assets linked to a former Minister of Petroleum, Dezani Alese Madueke, and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, during the formal signing ceremony of the asset agreement between Nigeria and United States in Abuja, explained that $50 million of the recovered assets would be deployed through the World Bank for the development of rural electrification projects, while the remaining $2 million would be used by the International Institute of Justice to expand the justice system and combat corruption. Fagbemi noted that the asset return marks a milestone in the ongoing collaboration between Nigeria and the USA to combat corruption and uphold the rule of law. He also described the event as a significant step by President Bola Tinubu in addressing corruption. The federal government has called for unified efforts by stakeholders to tackle the emerging COVID-19 variants in the country. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Development, Professor Ali Pate, at the Strategic Meeting Agency, NEMA, following the recent emergence of a new COVID-19 variant in China, warned against misinformation and urged collaboration among stakeholders, including health officials and the media, to strengthen border controls and revive pandemic response infrastructure. The minister emphasized the importance of agencies such as the Nigeria Immigration Service and others in ensuring that the country's land borders were under surveillance. He urged that similar measure taken to curtail Ebola some years back should be applied at the airports, the land borders and the seaports to secure the lives of Nigerians. The health minister also called for renewed efforts in vaccine development and public education to prevent panic and safeguard lives. The Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejiota, has revealed that the new minimum wage will be reviewed in less than 2 years from now. Onyejiota said this in Umaya, the Abia State capital, after a meeting with labour leaders in the state. The minister said President Bola Tinubu was committed to welfare of workers and would keep to every promise he made to them. Recall that Tinubu had approved the 70,000 naira minimum wage in July 2024 with a promise to review it every 3 years. Over 67 billion naira been lost to fire outbreaks in 2024, and that's according to the Federal Fire Service. There's more after this break. Stay with us. It's still Osrc News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV. You can also subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Osrc TV Ondo. Two more stories now. The federal government has reaffirmed its opposition to the use of foreign mercenaries to address the country's security challenges. A sustainable solution. The government instead expressed a strong interest in collaborating with China to localize the production of military equipment, thereby reducing reliance on external procurement and the delays associated with it. This stance was emphasized during a joint press briefing by Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, and his Chinese counterpart, Wang Yi, at the presidential villa in Abuja. Speaking at the briefing, Ambassador Tuga emphasized that private military companies, regardless of their origin, are not the solution to Nigeria's security issues. He called for collective efforts within the region, stressing Nigeria's leadership role in addressing peace and security challenges on the African continent. Reactions have continued to trail the decentralization of Nigeria College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, Kaduna State. With the decentralization, Akure in Ondo State is the base for the Southwest. The development has occupied the forefront of conversations both online and offline, with many residents of Ondo State applauding the federal government for the decision, which is deemed beneficial to the Southwest state. Omar Lambeji has details.
The Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, was established in 1964 and commenced operation 2 years after. With over 60 years of existence, the institution is renowned for providing human resource development in Africa's aviation industry. On Wednesday, the media was awash with news of the decentralization of the training college into 6 campuses across Nigeria's geopolitical zones by President Bola Tinubu. Akure Southwest, Osubi South-South, Ebonyi Southeast, Ilorin North Central, Yola Northeast, and the mother campus, Zaria, for Northwest region. This is expected to increase access to aviation training and education, fostering growth and development in Nigeria's aviation sector. Reacting, residents of Akure, one of the beneficiary states, lauded the development, highlighted the potential for Akure to become a central hub for aviation education, bringing economic growth and training opportunities to the Southwest. A public affairs analyst, Mr. Olatubosun Awe, was optimistic that the gesture will expand the educational cost of the youths in the Southwest states and many more opportunities to the region.
It will be good for us, as education is a way of emancipation. So definitely it will help. It will help us. It will open our eyes, because I'm not sure that FUTA runs such a program now. I'm not sure they have any of the courses in aviation. So if such is brought around here, number one, it will create employment, because people will be there to work. There will be enlightenment, and at the same time, the mind of the youth will be open to having such or that take such courses in aviation.
So an educationist and clergy, Dr. Chris Gospower, it is a developmental project that will create a fairness and sustainability in Nigeria's system.
Bringing the same system to the people, I think is a well-developmental program on the part of the presidency to reshape Nigeria. And coming down to the Southwest, here in Akure, I think is a good development, because it has a lot of prospects, economic stability, it increased standard of living, it also creates job employment, it creates people it gives them the opportunity to develop their career, even in aviation. Instead of going to Zaria, going to Kaduna, you can create such a development, a career in such a system. So the prospect is even bigger than the other side. I think it's a welcome development.
They suggested that Southwest governments should embrace the opportunity and put in their best, using their political strength to bring the project to reality.
They should be proactive because, like, we are in a political era, so people they lobby, and that is part of a good aspect of politics. They have to do the politicking too. They should not just wait until the news is fully established. They have to scout for it. They go out, get the paper that really supports such establishments. I think they know what it takes. Go along with the Ministry of Aviation in that regards. Get the paper that supports the siting of the relocating of such a school in this. They should not wait.
The program is coming to your states. It's coming to your land. So whatever it takes to get it done, you go ahead and do that, because I believe a lot of things happen in our nation, Nigeria. So when the presidency has declared that, look, we are starting this thing, I'm sure it is now left for us to follow it up and see that the execution becomes a reality.
Though the Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Laolu Akindolire, said the state is yet to receive official communication from the federal government, he promised to make the right move. As present, specific details regarding the timeline for the establishment of these campuses and the commencement of academic activities have not been disclosed. Omoriola Nwiji, Osrc News.
The Federal Fire Service has revealed that Nigeria recorded the loss of 100 lives and properties worth 67.1 billion naira to fire outbreaks in 2024. The service also said 30,980 lives and properties worth 1.94 trillion naira in 2024. The Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Abdulganiyu Jaji, during the press briefing in Abuja, attributed many of the incidents to negligence and non-compliance with safety regulations. Jaji urged Nigerians to be more cautious and vigilant during the Harmattan period, adding that the risk of fire outbreaks is high during this season. The fire service boss also urged Nigerians, especially operators of fuel stations, gas refilling plants, and users of gas cylinders, to adhere strictly to safety protocols to prevent avoidable disasters. And outside Nigeria now, deadly wildfires continue to burn in parts of Los Angeles, forcing the evacuation of more than 170,000 people. Residents say they have lost loved ones and their properties. Omoshike Olamode has details.
This is the front line in the battle to contain the fire that's still raging around Australia. It's called the path through the suburb at alarming pace, claiming lives as people slept. Kimo's 82-year-old father, Rodney, thought it would be safe. He didn't make it out.
We didn't think it was going to come this fast. It jumped over a whole park, and then it came here. It jumped over whole streets, and it hit this community, but it didn't touch the mountainside at all. And so he didn't think it was going to be that bad, and sleep in his bed, where he still is right now, as I wait on the corner.
Returns to the evacuation zone, a drive through a ghost town of Arches. One man had traced that journey earlier, but was too late to save his property. There's nothing left of the place Thomas called home for the last 37 years.
I just got off the phone with somebody, and as you can see, there's nothing left, and I've been here for about an hour and a half, and I don't want to leave. It's home. So I really can't put it into words.
Hans is grateful her father survived this, deeply conscious that some neighbors didn't.
I think it's really sad. I'm devastated for them. I'm devastated for us, but I'm, like I said, we each walked out with 2 pairs of clothing changes, and that's all that we have.
They have lost everything to the flames apart from a few trial possession.
If you can see what survived back there is my dad's sacred virgin. See it way back there? She's standing?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
This area is closed.
Mora Drive remains sealed. All this was home to one of the victims, 66-year-old Victor Shaw. Among the debris, they are struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what has happened here.
You know, the things that's not replaceable is like the pictures. You know, you can't capture those moments again, but nothing's more important than having all of my family members alive.
Everything that we know and love is gone. Not just this house, my whole city gone, man. The whole thing, like everything, my whole neighborhood, everything that I grew up to love and know is burnt up.
This community had hopes for the future, but there is only despair now and questions lost of them. They are uniting to offer shelter and can't even begin to think about how they will rebuild their lives. Omoshike Olodode, Osrc News.
Former United States President Jimmy Carter has been honored with a state funeral at the Washington Cathedral, capping nearly a week of national mourning for the former politician and humanitarian leader. Kemi Solajomu tells more.
For none of us liveth to himself.
The past, present, and future came to say farewell. Those who know the burden of presidency came together to pay their final respects as a member of the exclusive club departed. Jimmy Carter died aged 100, a one-term president who arguably made a greater impact after he left the White House. Washington's National Cathedral staged the country's goodbye, with the diplomats, politicians, and ordinary people joining the presidents. Joe Biden affectionately touching the coffin as he prepared to remember his old friend.
A deep friendship that started in 1974. I was a 31-year-old senator, and I was the first senator outside of Georgia, maybe the first senator, to endorse his candidacy for president. It was an endorsement based on what I believe is Jimmy Carter's enduring attribute: character, character, character.
His work with Carter Center, mediating conflicts, advancing democracy, and free elections won him a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002.
My grandfather started teaching Sunday school when he was a midshipman at the Naval Academy. He taught the Bible every Sunday from World War II to COVID. For all my grandfather's travels, he structured his life so that he was home in Plains to teach at Maranatha on Sunday. It was central to his life.
Carter was never fully comfortable in Washington. He preferred Georgia and his hometown of Plains, and there he returned, where he will lie next to his wife of 77 years, Rosalyn. Kemisola Ojomu, Osrc News.
And to end the news tonight, another look at the major stories. We told you that Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has reaffirmed his commitment to good governance ahead of January 18 local government elections. The governor, who met with candidates of the All Progressives Congress earlier today, stressed the importance of commitment, urging them to embrace grassroots mobilization ahead of Saturday's poll. Also informed you that the federal government has recovered $52 billion in assets linked to ex-Minister of Petroleum, Dezani Alison Madueke. Also told you on the foreign scene that thousands continue to count their losses in the wildfire